Clashes on the Thai-Cambodian border that began on Friday have continued over the weekend. The United Nations Secretary-General, Ban Ki-moon, has called on the two nations to declare a ceasefire as the fighting around the Tha Muon and Tagra Bay temples killed at least 10 soldiers. This recent clash is not at the Preah Vihear temple complex, the site of previous skirmishes, but 200 kilometres west at another place where the border demarcation is sometimes the cause of conflict. Cambodia's Defence Ministry has condemned Thailand for launching attacks aimed at taking control of two temples and accused its army of firing shells loaded with poisonous gas. But Thailand says the claims are baseless. For more, Robert Carmichael joins us now from Siem Reap. Robert, what's the situation at the border at the moment?
Morning. Well, I just spoke with a Cambodian government spokesman, Pai Sapan, and he tells me that it's quiet up at Tha Muon and Tagra Bay. He said that Thailand had sent snipers in overnight who were taking pot shots at Cambodian soldiers, and there's word that there may be some casualties there, but that's not confirmed. So there may be some extra casualties on the Cambodian side, but we'll have to wait till later in the day to have that confirmed. So
at the moment, reports are of at least 10 soldiers killed. Some media outlets are reporting 11. Do we know how many are from each side?
Yeah, on Thailand it's definitely 4, and on Cambodia it's definitely 6, but could now be 7. There were, as with always with these things, there's sort of mixed reports as the day goes on. So we heard maybe 5 Thai soldiers, but that's been revised down to 4. So 4 on Thailand, 6, maybe 7 on Cambodia.
Can you take us back to Friday and outline how the fighting actually began?
Depends very much on who you talk to. Cambodia is adamant that Thailand is the cause of the problems and started the fighting. Thailand says much the same thing. So it depends who you ask the questions of as to who's starting the fighting. But as far as Cambodia is concerned, Thailand's shown no interest in resolving this through the mechanism of ASEAN, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, and that, of course, is the recommendation of the United Nations Security Council that ASEAN be the broker for a ceasefire. As far as Cambodia is concerned, it's done all it can to try and get a ceasefire in place, to get border monitors in place, and it accuses Thailand of being intransigent and working the border issue for its own purposes to try and get things back to bilateral negotiations, which Cambodia said simply hasn't worked over the last 3 years.
So how likely is it that we'll see a ceasefire as the UN has called for?
Well, I mean, UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon said adamantly that a ceasefire must be put in place. I think it's likely a ceasefire will come, but, we had the situation at Preah Vihear, which is, as you say, 200 kilometres further east. That was quiet for 8 weeks, and that's still quiet at the moment, although I understand that Thailand bolstered its troop positions there. A ceasefire, I suppose, will come into play at some point, but it's hard to say at this stage when.
And what are the sticking points at this stage?
The sticking points are that, again, if you speak to the Cambodians, as far as they're concerned, Thailand is not serious about having a third party get involved in trying to resolve the border issues and the disputed border areas. As far as Thailand is concerned, it purely wants a bilateral solution to this. But Cambodia has said that there's been years of this bilateral solution and it hasn't solved anything. So it's insistent that ASEAN, in the form of Indonesia, which is the current ASEAN chair, be involved in that process.
At the moment, what effect have you seen on civilians around the area?
I know from government figures at least 2,000 Cambodian civilians have fled the area into 3 different camps where they're being looked after. The government says many thousands more have fled the area and are staying with families, so they're not staying in the actual camps. On the Thai side, I understand from media reports it's much the same situation. Several thousand Thai civilians have fled the area. So, I mean, for a lot of these people, these are, especially on the Cambodian side, this is a poor area. These are people who don't have much anyway, and then to be forced off their land at the beginning of the planting season, it's going to be tough times for them.
Robert, thanks very much for the update.
Sure.
Robert Carmichael reporting there from Siem Reap.